Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Glad that you could join me for another one. On this one, I wanted to do something just a little different though. I started YouTube probably about 2 years ago, and so I wanted to kind of just go back and watch my very first YouTube video. For whatever reason, I was looking back on some of my videos, and I thought to myself it would probably be pretty interesting to just go back and see how it all started. I kind of remember the video. I don't really remember it. I haven't watched it yet. So I wanted to do that with you. It's kind of a reaction video, if you will, and see, kind of just talk you through maybe a little behind the scenes for the video, if I can remember it, and then kind of my takeaways. Thought that'd be kind of fun. So let me throw my headphones on and I'll guide us through this video. Let's see. It's called What Have I Gotten Myself Into? So let's take a listen.
Whew. All right. Well, let's do this thing. Let's go.
Okay, so I just have to address the elephant in the room. Yeah, 2 years ago, I was a little heftier, if you will. But anyway, so that's one of the joys of going back and seeing yourself 2 years ago. I like the music. Music is nice. Ooh. There we go. All right, hey, for an intro, it's pretty good. I thought that was pretty compelling. Kind of went with the music. I'm happy with that.
Hey YouTube, my name is Matt Hadley, and I wanted to welcome you to my channel. And even though I really don't know what I'm doing yet, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I live in a small town here in the state of Oregon. I'm an associate pastor at a small church. My beautiful wife, Anna, and I are coming up on our 19th wedding anniversary.
We're now at 20, coming
children,
up on 21.
2 boys, 3 girls, spanning from the ages of 15 all the way down to 6 years old.
That's 17.
Yes, that does make me old. I turned 40 this last year. I love sports, especially anything Ohio State or Seahawks related. Another fun fact about me is I played collegiate basketball for a couple of years, albeit for a very small
Multnomah
private college.
University.
So we definitely were not good, but it was a lot of fun.
All right, so just so you know, I started this channel right during the pandemic, and it was something that I kind of wanted to do anyway, but as we all know, the pandemic kind of lent itself to having a little extra time. So it was something that, I went ahead and dove in and started it. Let's continue.
I want to answer the question that probably you have, and that is why start a YouTube channel, especially now? There's really 2 answers to that question. The first answer has to do with challenging myself to do something that makes me extremely uncomfortable, and that's putting myself in front of this camera, posting it for the world to see. And probably for the last year or 2, I've had this thought and this idea about starting a YouTube channel. Every time I'd seriously consider it, the doubt and fear would start to creep in. Things like, well, what would your channel be about? Your life? Like, that's pretty boring, and who would want to watch it anyway? Or you're not an expert on any one thing, so you couldn't really give expert advice or tutorials or all the other things that you see on YouTube, so why start a channel? Or you're not talented enough as a videographer, and your editing skills aren't really up to par. You're too old for YouTube, it's for the younger generation, or, you know, what will people think?
Man, all of those are really still kind of there. I mean, for me, this whole YouTube thing, like I've said many times, is not my career. It's not something that I'm pursuing full time. But these are legitimate concerns and fears and reasons why I didn't jump into this stuff earlier. And, it's every time I create a video or post something, I kind of have some of those same thoughts. Is it going to be relevant? What are people going to think? I'm not a technical guy as far as gear reviews. So are people going to, wonder why I'm talking about this camera or lens when I don't know all the technical details? All of that stuff. That's kind of still there.
When they watch this and they're like, Matt, what are you doing? You're starting a YouTube channel. These sort of thoughts have honestly kept me from pressing record. But there's stories I want to tell, and there's people I want to offer hope to, and I have a message I want you all to see through my content and through the life that I live. And not that I have all of the answers, but many of us share the same struggles and difficulties, and to bring awareness and normalcy to those things and to speak to those things, I feel is so important. And that's in one part why I wanted to start this channel. The second...
Okay, before I get to my second point, I don't know what it is. I can't remember. Just a brief history, if you're not familiar with this channel, is I did start it with the understanding that I wanted it to be something that wasn't primarily Pastor Matt. I did mention that I was a pastor, but when I first started this channel, the first mini videos that I do, I tried to not avoid, but just kind of not talk about the fact that I was a pastor. And that primarily was because I often am Pastor Matt in all the other areas of my life. And so I wanted this one place in this one space, I guess, to not have to be that. But I found out after a little bit, like, being a pastor is part of who I am, just as much as being a dad or being a husband or, being a YouTube creator or, any other facet of my life. Like, I'm a sum of all of those things. I'm glad I put this on here because these things are true. Like, that's what I want this channel to be about, is to meet people where they're at, whether they're creatives or, people looking for inspiration or help or counsel, whatever or wherever you might be. I hope that this channel speaks to you in some way in all of those areas.
The second reason I want to start this channel is I love this. I love videography. I love the process. I love the storytelling. I love the creativity and shooting and editing. I love it all. From when I was very young, shooting Lego movies before they were popular, putting together youth group videos, starting my own videography business, working on all kinds of different projects. It's always been a passion of mine, and the more I learn and create, the more it excites me. And I wanted a space to be able to do even more of the content I love to do.
And that is absolutely true. I love doing all the stuff that I get to do for YouTube, and it can be random. It can be, kind of more creative, more with a point. Whatever I want to do, I can just throw it on here.
So YouTube really is that perfect platform to not only do something that I love, videography, but it allows me to also tell my story. Winston Churchill actually said it the best. He said, "It's not enough to have lived, we should be determined to live for something." Now, for me, there's something much greater than my love for videography or YouTube that I have placed my hope in. But what is it for you? What have you determined for your life to live for? Perhaps like me, it's time to stop listening to the voices that say you can't or you're not good enough, and instead take that step of faith and prove to yourself that you can. And that's why I'm here in front of this camera, pressing record and taking this giant leap of faith. Will this fail miserably? Maybe. Will I regret trying? Absolutely not. So I hope you'll come along for the journey. So what do they always say? Like, click and like this and subscribe or something like that. So that's it. this should be interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes from here. So I guess we get started.
No, I remember this. Oh, bye. See you next time. And a long music outro. Gotta love that. There you go. All right. So instant reaction. I actually am pretty happy with that. I think that's pretty well done video for the very first one I ever put out. Obviously, having good equipment was helpful with that. But I would say, as far as just the style, that what stood out to me is I actually scripted that whole thing because I tried to do just the talking thing, but I couldn't say it the way that I wanted to say it. So I scripted it out, and you could tell. And then also there's actually, there's a bit of a performance behind it. If you don't know me well, then maybe you don't see it, but I think anyone who knows me well, you can kind of tell that there's a performance going on. This is me not performing. So this compared to what you saw there, yeah, you can kind of tell. So it's been interesting, even in these 2 years, I think I've become a lot more comfortable knowing my vibe and how I present myself on a camera, because it is weird to have to talk to a camera. It's not necessarily natural, but it's something you get used to, I suppose. And yeah, something I've done now for a couple of years, and it's been fun. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed me, reacting to my very first YouTube video. I know it's only been 2 years, but that was, I think I have almost 70 videos, so almost 70 videos ago. And boy, I look forward to the future as well. So thanks for coming along on the journey. We'll see you on the next one.